Hey, here we are. Welcome. My name is Mia Park, and welcome to the interview series I'm doing. This is called In Response, interviews with intriguing internalizers. And this is a great opportunity for me to connect with people I know, friends and family from all over the world, interesting people that I've met who I think have something really important to share about not just the COVID-19 pandemic that we're in the middle of now, but something interesting to share about life and the universe and paper and chocolate, right? So today I'm so excited to interview Iñaki Munduate. How did I do?
Very good.
Okay.
Hello,
Okay.
Mia.
Hi. So
Hi.
Iñaki and I met, sometimes you meet people for 10 seconds and you just stay friends. So Iñaki and I met, did we figure out, was it 15 years ago? Longer than that.
Something like that, yes.
Something, I think we
Long
met
time ago.
15, yeah, we met like 15 years ago in the Paris airport. We were waiting in line. I think our
Yeah.
flight was delayed. And we just, two very friendly, chatty people. We just started talking. And then we've been in touch for 15. That's the only
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
we've seen or
Yeah.
talked to each other. But, sometimes you meet people in this life and you're just like, oh, okay, we have a connection. We're
Yes.
friends. That's how it goes. So anyway, and he was kind enough to come and be a part of this interview series. So Iñaki is very interesting. I think he's got some degrees. He's an engineer working with a paper company now. He's also a musician. Many bands. His son's a musician. Also, his wife is a pioneer in the slow fashion industry. He sent me some images of her work. It's really lovely, very beautiful. And also, Iñaki has a very international hobby of chocolate tasting.
It's a compulsory hobby, I would say, in a way.
Oh, well, so we get addicted to things that are important to us, and for you,
Yeah.
it's chocolate in other countries.
Yeah. 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 Because I had to travel so much, and this is something I like since I was a child. So when you start going somewhere, you end your job, and you need something, fast and sugar and something you like. So I started buying these chocolate bars in any country, and some they were terrible, and some
Mhm.
they were very good. So I started to write notes about it, and then finally I ended with an Instagram account and a lot of pictures of chocolates from all over the world.
The pictures are it's very artfully done. It's like, here's the chocolate, here's the chocolate with one wrapper, here's the chocolate with two. There's a lot of intention in your chocolate pictures.
Yeah, I think it's very much a point of an engineer, the composition and this shape and this angle. And no, I started to write down also for the people that are interested in eating more, let's say, pure chocolate. These additives they are putting in some countries like PGRC or some additives that we don't like, or palm oil and all this stuff. So if you check the Instagram account, Chocolate Atlas, you will find out if the chocolate you are eating is having this extra fats or this stuff.
Well, that's good to know for us chocolate lovers. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So I
but
like,
Mia, sorry, I would like to make you a question. Can I?
yes, ask me. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
No, why did you choose me? Because when I took a look to the people that you are interviewing these days, very interesting people, they are all in a kind of aura of spirits and yoga and all this stuff. And suddenly here is the engineer, coming from the industry. And, I'm afraid I'm a little bit breaking your line.
Oh my gosh, you're not breaking the line at all. Do you know, can I share with you, Iñaki?
Yeah.
Almost everybody that I asked to do this says the exact same thing that you do. My cousin is a pastor in Korea, and he's like, I'm not an artist. I don't play, I don't create music. I'm not a painter. Why are you asking me? And here you are as an engineer, like a science mind, but also as an artist, as a musician mind.
Yeah.
And then, you're asking. So honestly, I think part of it has to do with, like, obviously we have this kind of, I believe in reincarnation.
Okay.
So, here or there, you can believe or not, but you meet people and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I feel like you and I have kept in touch all this time. So clearly we have a connection, like I said, but also
Yeah.
some of the things that you respond to in my newsletters that you read, I thought gave me insight to that you're paying attention and you're thinking. Also, honestly, I think because you're in Basque Country, And I know that you're very, like you identify, you're very proud of the region there. And I feel like in Spain, especially is a country where, just like in Catalonia or Catalan and then Basque Country, there's so many regions that are holding on for their identity, where you have this other outside force trying to come in and take your identity, like Tibet in China or something like that. You know, so I thought that because you're, if I can say, you're pro-Basque and you're very much proud of where you're coming from an identity, I think that that shows that you're not afraid to be an individual, and you're not afraid to think for yourself and be who you want to be, and not say, okay, I'll go to France, or okay, I'll be part of Spain, even though your culture is in those countries. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's interesting. I often listen this kind of point of view, as you are saying, that we are proud and we are pro and all this. But in some way, I mean, we are just natural people, that we are in a context of culture. And this is what my parents gave me. I didn't choose to be Basque, but I am, because I was born here. And on the other hand, to be Basque is something very open. Nobody should think that to be Basque is something that it comes genetically or something like that. People that are coming from abroad, refugees, are becoming Basque if they like to. So, but because we are a small culture, we have to say it, because we don't appear in the maps like that. So we have to say it. So when you say it, the other part understands that you are very proud and you are a nationalist and this kind of stuff. Okay, whatever. But we are just a small culture, and ancient and very interesting and very, very, I think, open and very funny also.
So, well, let's talk about your, you know, this is the time of the global pandemic. So if I can shift to talking about how you are, I don't know what's going on exactly in Basque Country, in the outside world, in response to what's going on, and then what your personal response is to what's happening right now.
Well, just to update, in the Basque Country, there has been several situations depending on the area. In the area where I live, in San Sebastian, it has been quite smooth going, but a little bit more south of the Basque Country was quite dramatically heated. Not as much as in Madrid, in center of Spain. So I don't know why, and there is a lot of speculation about. I think time will show. We should not be in a hurry, and we should not take this like a race. You know, sometimes I see in the news trying to get information, but this information suddenly becomes like a race. Oh, who is having more deaths? Is it Spain? Is it Italy? Is it now England? Whatever. What they are doing, what they are not doing. I mean, we should not forget about the drama behind. And I would like also to think about the solidarity with the people that have been suffering. But in this situation, they have been suffering very much alone, because the people who were dying and the families could not get the solidarity of the rest of the family, because we should keep away from each other. So I think this is having a special touch of drama, all this. So personally, we have not been affected in our family, although my parents, they are very old, and I'm afraid that if they get in touch with this sickness, it could be also quite fatal. But of course, we are very much affected, starting from the professionally, from the work, and also personally, how we have been living all this lockdown. But I will say that a part of all this drama, economically, in emotions, in the families, there is also, at least I have been feeling something positive, is that maybe because of the kind of life I was having professionally before this, which I was traveling long trips every month, going from one part to another part, and suddenly we all are at home, the family is all at home, and for me, in a way, it's a little present to get this opportunity, really, of spending 24 hours with my family. You know, it's something I was missing. I didn't want it to happen like this, but when it happens, you have to take it, and you have to try to get the best of it. I think we all are vulnerable. We have to realize that how vulnerable we are, and this uncertainty that we are living in this world, and how we cannot control everything. And this is something that is part of the human being and the evolution we have been having in this world. So we have to continue taking it as that. So I don't know. This is mainly what I'm feeling at the moment. But of course, as social animals that we are, to keep this lockdown, although now we are in a de-escalation process, is feeling very strange. It's feeling strange. And despite of all this social network we have with the computers, mobile phones, cells, and all that, I think in a society here where we are so used to touch each other, to hug, to kiss each other, suddenly this becomes like a frozen wall between each other. Is something very, very weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that you and your family are safe, and it's so nice to hear you talk about the optimism, the hope that the like you said, the gift that you get to spend time with your family, because you said you traveled so much. And so how nice that you're with how old are your children?
Oh, they're fine. I mean, they are in the university, so they have been keeping going on with their studies through the internet and all this. But they are missing also their colleagues and the contact with the teacher. And I think also this is something I have been thinking. I like to think always and be involved in questioning about education, because my mother was a teacher, and I think a good education system is very important for the future of a nation and of a country. And I think at the moment I see all the time in the media the discussions about exams, not exams, going back to school, not how they are all these items, these topics, the students, how they are getting them. But I think we are forgetting that the role of a teacher is not only the transmission of academics. There is very much the role of a compass to the students, to all these children and teenagers that needs to have a view about how to behave with principles in life, and how they will compass these attitudes, this knowledge they get from the teacher. This is totally broken at the moment, totally. They are just getting academical instructions and knowledge, but not a view of based in principles of every daily connection with the teacher. So let's see how all this will go on. But I don't know if this generation, in a way, will have a different touch. These generations will be very much aware about hygienic things, about sicknesses. They will learn about virus and all this stuff. But I hope that we don't lose the words that were important in the 70s, in the 60s, and still in the 80s: solidarity, empathy. I don't know. We are becoming, I think, very, very technical in that way of medical. Technically, we are knowing a lot about COVID and another kind of virus. But we should not forget about these principles in education and in the daily life.
See, and you wondered why I asked you to be a part of this. You have some very intelligent and thoughtful things to share, a lot of good things. Thank you.
Not so much the engineer you thought, yeah?
Oh, that's okay. No, it's all, well, we can wear a hat and take it off, but there's always still the flavor of the hat still on you. So the engineer is still in whatever you're saying, I did want to ask, do you have a personal philosophical or spiritual response to what's happening?
Honestly, if you mean like a part of a religion or something like that, I don't have. I'm not part of any religion, but I'm not against any of them. I think we all are, to have a good life, you have to be connected to your people around, and you have to accept them. You have to try to learn from them. You have to have this empathy I was mentioning. And I think I see very interesting things in all different kind of philosophies or religions. So in principle, I have been trying to build myself since I was a teenager, very much involved also in the daily politics in a way. I've tried to build my own kind of principles. And when I look back or I look to myself, many times what I'm proud of is not about what I do, it's more about what I didn't do. And I think it's something important. Sometimes you have to choose to do some things that are easy and maybe gives you a fast feeling of pleasure or something, but you choose not to do. And sometimes not to do things is also you have to be militant. And this is a little bit. I mean, I think I cannot give lessons to anybody, but I try to show in my daily life, both in work and in my social life, what are my small principles.
Like walk the walk and talk the talk, as they say.
Something like that. I think it's better than to speak is to do. And I think as working in the industry and in the there is a lot about also about emotions and about building team together and following certain challenges that are very difficult. Like at the moment, I mean, at the moment the industry is suffering quite much. Like it's suffering most of the professions, of course. But to have your factory stop and the workers at home is really something very sad. And we are all trying to remake ourselves and to rethink what can we do in order to keep on going. So, yeah, challenging.
It sounds challenging. So do you notice any change in yourself from now, from like 2 or 3 months ago? Like what's different?
Yeah, of course, I feel changes. I feel changes in myself and in the people. It's very clear. And in that way, as I was mentioning, to stay more at home with my family, and I think it's really something that I was missing. I needed, and I think there are many people like me that we didn't know how to stop this fast living we were having around traveling and working long time, and suddenly this is making you think that what are the real things that I should take care for? I mean, what was I paying attention to the true things that I really care, So I think these huge questions, because we are seeing all the time also in the television and in the newspapers that a lot of questions about all these economical consequences and isolation and all that. But I think many people are making this question to themselves, this huge question. What should I do with my life now when I've been spending more with the people are part of my family? How should I drive? But again, the uncertainty and all the impact that we'll have in our work and all this will be delivered in a certain way where we should maybe follow. But I think what I realize also when I hear the people saying that COVID has changed our lives. COVID has changed our lives, and the government has changed our lives because of the lockdown. And our society after COVID will be the same as before unless we make it different. The COVID will not change the future unless we really stand up and we say, look, we went through this process. We don't want to go back to a society where the public health and the public education is weak. No, we need it. We have shown it that we need it. We need a strong public structure, link it to the people. without elder people. There are a lot of people who everywhere who have been dying. They are aged people. I also wonder myself. We are shocked about this, but how we will be shocked if instead of very old people who have been kids, the one affected straight by the virus, we will be even more shocked, of course. So a lot of these people dying have been dying in residents where, you know, we are putting the older people in some situations because, of course, they need a very special care. But in some situations also because, you know, okay, they are old and they are a little bit bothering our everyday life. So I think we should question for all this socially and in our relationships. So I will expect that the people in the next elections, political elections, they really think about we need a really strong public structure from the state, and also that we need to think on solidarity and empathy in our daily relationships.
You just shared a lot of wisdom. That's great. And I don't know if you can see on the side of the screen, there's some comments. Can you see on this? There should be a couple tabs on the side. So we got some from just on YouTube. Albator902 says, hi. Marco Dufat, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name's wrong, says, very interesting interview. Can you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, but I cannot read it because my cell phone is small, so I cannot read it. So if you can read it for me.
Okay, so, and then Karagala says, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands.
Yeah, it's true.
You can read the comments.
But we will not allow the politicians to wash hands.
We could go to, I live in America right now. Okay, you want to start, oh my gosh, I could be here for another 20 minutes talking about what the politicians are doing wrong and what a bad example they're setting up for us.
Yeah.
But we're at about time. So you had some very wonderful things to share. I love that your personal message is set an example, live with empathy, you know, and I love, again, that you're optimistic with that what's happening. And I'm so glad you're enjoying the time with your family. So thank you so much. And then Niria Zyperon says agree. Sorry, I'm messing everyone's name up, but all right. You've got your fans. Iñaki.
Thank you to all.
But thank you so much for joining In Response.
Okay.
So friends watching, make sure to like my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got these interviews coming on. And I think it's, again, thank you so much you are right now but you're the ambassador of Basque Country on this, because you're the only one there who's been doing this series so far.
But Mia,
okay, we'll take that pressure off.
I want to say one last thing. I have some presents for you that I will send.
Oh, you do? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I hope this is, can you see it?
Lift it up a little higher, lift it higher. Me and my bunker. That is your band.
That's my band, which I created years ago, and I think the name, it suits very much the actual situation, you know, because we all became like inside our bunkers, you know. We buy hygienic paper and all the stuff to resist in our bunkers. So my intention when I create that name was the opposite, that we should be open, but I think it's suiting. So. And I will send to you also this vinyl, this record. Tempera is the last one I have been producing, and it's a very good band from San Sebastian. I will send it to you. Tempera, is that your son's band? Yes.
Yeah, I knew your son was in there playing music somewhere. Thank you so much. That is so cool. By the way, maybe you should start an interview series, and you can call it Me and My Bunker. That is a perfect name for something happening right now. Okay,
with your help.
About it. Okay, Iñaki, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining and talking.
Thanks to you for the opportunity.
All right, take care.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.